Cedarburg, Wisconsin is the home of Mrs. Joyce Hurth. One evening in 1955, her husband and son had gone to the movies. Mrs. Hurth's 5-year-old daughter, little Joyce, came back late from a birthday party and rushed off to join them. The movie theatre was in the main street. Her mother was at home with the washing up.
She waved goodbye to me and skipped up the street, and it wasn't very long until all of a sudden I felt a terrible chill that went all through me. I dropped the plate I was washing and raised my eyes to heaven, and I said, "Oh God, don't let her get killed." At that moment, I knew something awful had happened to my daughter. I immediately went to the telephone. I could hardly dial because I was shaking so. I picked up the receiver. I did get the Rivoli Theater, and a young girl answered the phone. I said, "This is Mrs. Hurth. My daughter was on the way to the theater. She's had an accident. Is she badly hurt?" The girl stammered, "Mrs. Hurth, the accident just happened."
Little Joyce had been hit by a car outside the Rivoli. Manager Ray Nichols remembers how quickly the call came.
There was no way that anybody could have got down and talked to Mrs. Hurth about her daughter, because the phone rang shortly, it couldn't have been a few seconds after that her daughter was hurt, and she says, "Was my daughter hurt?" So I didn't know how she could find out. It must be about, what, a block and a half, 2 blocks to her home from here. If they had a motorcycle waiting for this to happen, they couldn't have got down there in the time for her to call by the time her daughter got hurt.
If you take the shortcut, you go up this street, and just before the corner, there's a parking lot. And you can go through the parking lot and between 2 buildings and come out immediately in front of the theater. There's no way I could see it. There's no way I could see it. There's no way I could see it from this angle. It's all at the upper part of the street. I couldn't possibly see it, and on a different street.
After the accident, little Joyce's first thought was for her mother.
And she said, "Mama," I sat on the curb and I kept saying, "Mama, Mama, I want my mama," but not out loud, just to myself, she said. I didn't hear any sounds whatsoever. I had a